Monday. This word sounds like a starting pistol shot. The alarm clock screamed at exactly 6:30. 6:30 a.m. It didn't just ring. It screamed, how it vibrated so hard the bedside table shook. I hate that sound, but I respect it. It's the border between sleep and reality. I reached out my arm and groped for the phone. The screen blinded me with blue light. To swipe, I swiped the notification away, and the world sank into silence. 5 seconds of respite. Then I sat up, abruptly. No, just 5 more minutes. On a Monday, that's deadly dangerous. I lowered my feet to the floor. The cold parquet brought me to my senses. To get up, a verb that separates losers from champions. I am a champion, at least. Today I'm trying to be one. I stood up, swaying slightly, and headed to the bathroom. On the way, I turned on the lights everywhere. In the kitchen, the hallway, the bathroom. Light, bright, merciless. It burns the remnants of sleep from your eyes. I looked in the mirror. A crumpled man with a hairstyle resembling a pasta factory explosion stared back at me. Hair. It was sticking out in every direction. I sighed. The battle for appearance had begun. The morning toilette is an assembly line. Every action is polished to automaticity. I turned on the faucet. A faucet. Cold water hit the sink. I splashed it onto my face. To splash. Icy droplets ran down my cheeks, down my neck, under my collar. My brain switched on at full power. I reached for my toothbrush. A toothbrush. Squeezed out the paste. Toothpaste. And began brushing vigorously, almost aggressively. Top teeth, bottom teeth, molars. Gums. Tongue. Rinse. To rinse. Done. Mouth fresh, breath minty. Now shaving. I applied foam to my cheeks and chin. Shaving foam. The razor in my hand. A razor. The blade glided across my skin, cutting away the stubble. I shaved carefully, mindful of yesterday's cut on my cheekbone. A cheekbone. The cheekbone was healing, but still made itself known. I bypassed the danger zone. Neck. Adam's apple. You need to be especially careful here. Done. I washed off the remaining foam, dabbed my face with a towel. A towel. Now my skin is smooth and smells of aftershave. A shower. Quick, invigorating. I didn't stand under the streams meditating. That's for days off. Today is wash and get out mode. Shower gel. A loofah. I scrubbed my shoulders, chest, back. The water was almost boiling, then ice cold for 5 seconds. A contrast shower chases away the last remnants of sleepiness. I turned off the water, grabbed a towel, and rubbed myself until I was red. My skin is breathing. My muscles have woken up. I'm ready for the next stage. I stepped out of the bathroom, leaving a cloud of steam behind me, and headed to the wardrobe. A wardrobe. Time to get dressed. What to wear? The eternal question. I opened the doors and stared at the rows of hangers. Shirts. White, light blue, gray striped. Trousers. Classic black, gray, navy. Today I have an important meeting. So the dress code is smart casual. Not a strict suit, but not jeans either. I chose a light blue shirt. Ironed, thanks to yesterday's me. Navy blue trousers with a crease. I pulled on the trousers, fastened the button and the zipper. A button and a zipper. A belt. Leather, black, with a simple buckle. A buckle. I threaded the belt through the loops. Belt loops. Now the shirt. I slipped my arms into the sleeves. Fastened the buttons on my chest. The collar. A collar. I left the top button undone. Without a tie. That looks right. Cuffs. Button them. Tucked the shirt into the trousers. Straightened it. Looked in the mirror. Almost ready. Socks. Black. No pattern. I pulled them on. Checked that the seam wasn't pressing on my toes. Shoes. Classic Oxfords, polished to a shine. I sat on the poof in the hallway and put them on. Shoelaces, shoelaces, tied them in a double knot. Checked that my foot fit snugly. Stood up, stomped a little. Excellent. A blazer, a blazer. Not a suit jacket, but a separate, textured one. I threw it over my shoulders. It fit perfectly. Now I look like a man who knows what he's doing. Even if that's not true. Breakfast, the most important meal, even when time is tight. I walked into the kitchen, already dressed, and switched on the kettle. A kettle. While it boiled, I got out bread, butter, and cheese. No cooking, just a sandwich. A sandwich. 2 slices of whole grain bread. Butter, butter, cheese, cheese. I assembled the structure and pressed the top, sliced down. The kettle boiled. I poured boiling water over a tea bag. A tea bag, 2 minutes to steep. I drank my tea standing, looking out the window, chewing my sandwich. Crumbs fell onto the countertop. Crumbs. I'll wipe them later. While drinking tea, I checked my phone. Messages in the work chat. Messages. Nothing critical. 1 email from the boss. I skimmed it quickly. Understood. Ignored. Morning is not the time for work problems. I finished my tea, rinsed my mug. A mug. Placed it in the dish rack. A dish rack. Wiped my hands on a kitchen towel. A kitchen towel. Now, final touches. I returned to the bathroom. My hair had already dried, but it needed styling. A comb. A comb. I ran it from my forehead to the nape. A parting. A parting. Straight on the left. I sprayed my hair with a light styling mist. No greasy shine. Now the face. Moisturizer. Moisturizer. I applied it to my forehead, cheeks, and chin, under my eyes, especially carefully, to hide the traces of sleep deprivation. Deodorant. Deodorant. A couple of sprays. Cologne. Cologne. 1 pressed to the neck. The scent is fresh, woody. I stood in the hallway, doing a final inspection, a mental checklist. Phone. Phone. Check my pocket. There. Wallet. Wallet. In the other pocket. There. Keys. Keys. Lying on the console table, next to the keychain. A keychain. I picked them up, jingled them in my hand. A familiar sound. Documents. Documents. My work pass in the side compartment of my bag. A bag. A bag. Not a backpack, but a leather messenger bag. Laptop inside. Charger. Headphones. Headphones. Everything's there. I put on my coat. A coat. Light for the transitional season. It's cool outside, but not freezing. I fasten the buttons. Check the scarf. A scarf. Won't need it. The sun has come out. I open the front door. The front door. Took a step over the doorstep. A doorstep. And stopped. I forgot something. I went back, checked the stove. Off. The iron. Off. The windows. Closed. The lights. All off. Except the hallway one. It will turn itself off in a minute. Done. Now, really done. I stepped out into the stairwell. A stairwell. Locked the door with the key. 2 turns. Checked the handle. Locked. The elevator. An elevator. Called it with a button. While waiting, I glanced at the mirror in the elevator lobby. A collected, battle-ready man looked back. Monday was no longer scary. It had become just a day of the week. Friends, the morning routine is an art, the art of being ready. And like any art, it requires vocabulary. Toothbrush, shirt, keys, sandwich. Every word is a building block of your morning. If you can describe your routine from the alarm clock's ring to the turn of the key in the lock, you're no longer just learning English. You're living it. I stepped outside. The sun was blazing. I pulled out my sunglasses. Sunglasses. Put them on. A deep breath. The street smelled of spring, gasoline, and coffee from the neighboring coffee shop. I headed to the subway. Subway. An upbeat playlist started playing in my headphones. A playlist. The day had begun, and I was ready. Now it's your turn. Get ready, friends, and may your English be as flawless as the crease on your trousers.